These are the last ones. We're up to probably 34 or 5 of them. And this is the one I just pulled. And it got rained on last night. And one thing you want to do is you want to take that seed head off, because it will keep growing. In fact, see, these have been laying up here a few days, and look how that stem is trying to turn up toward the sun. And if it would quit raining on it, get a little light on it, it'll dry out. Well, we plowed all that compost into this bed, and if we can get the energy, we're going to start moving these two irises over here. And this is where the onions were and the leeks, and we're going to leave those. We're just hoping they'll get a little bit better, because there's only a couple that are laying over. They might get a little bigger. And the butter beans are up, the peppers are getting more leaves, cukes are getting more leaves, tomatoes are growing to where we have to tie them up quite regularly. And this is a sweet million. And we planted these 17 days ago. That plant right there 17 days ago was about right here. And see, it's got some. That'll be our 4th of July tomatoes if we're lucky. But they're growing pretty good. Can't really complain about it. All that drip irrigation's working. Cukes down here. All the squash have come up. We didn't plant anything right there. We had a rhubarb and another thing going on there that we just didn't plant. We might stick in a couple squash seeds in here. And I've got that compost pile cleaned out and taken off of all I can get off of it. Well, I can stand about 10% of my onions going to seed, but when it goes over 15%, it's just time to pull them. And we were pulling 5 or 6 a day that were going to seed, so we decided to pull them today. And it is Wednesday the 29th of June. It's 10 after 7 on the East Coast. They call it a 5-inch onion. That's 4 3/4. That's almost 4 3/4. They're 4 1/2. There's not really any 5 inches right there. And this is roughly 160 onions, and probably about 40 have been pulled from going to seed. And this is the rest of them, the way we dry them. There were a few little, we didn't pull the smallest little runts. We just pulled what were in the rows. And those 5 really weren't big. There were a few like that. See, there's a few small ones. But they were still the biggest onions we've grown. And they're nice and healthy, and they have really good roots on them. Didn't take too long to pull it. Like you can see that one sitting there, that thing is 4 3/4, not quite 5. Well, after you pull your onions, the worst thing that can happen to you is for it to rain. There's no forecast for late afternoon thunderstorms this evening. And today's Friday, the 1st of July. And this morning at 7 o'clock, we woke up to heavy rain. And that's how much water's in these wheelbarrows. They were both empty. And these have been drowned. And it's starting to sprinkle, and it looks a little dark right there. But we have to do something with trying to dry this stuff out, which is going to be a nightmare, because all this together will never dry out, and these get awful slick and slimy when it does. And the cardboard underneath here won't dry out with all these onions, so we're going to have to move some of it just for the cardboard to dry out. And yet it's starting to rain again. So my bride is standing there with this tarp, and we're going to cover it up until it quits raining, and then try to do something to dry these onions out. Always a little challenge in life, isn't it? Well, we got it covered. It's sprinkling. You can see the water that's on that. At least stay off the onions. It only rained in one place in the entire state of Virginia, and that was where these onions are. And I don't know why. See, it looks like it's trying to clear. Oh well. Well, the sun came out. We got a little bit of a breeze. I took about half of them off here and spray these out, so maybe they'll dry out. I did the same thing with all of those, and you can see I'm getting some cardboard dry out. And if we walk over here to the shed, my workshop, this is where I put them on plywood, on cardboard on this table, and tried to spread them out. I've got that fan and that fan running on it, and there's no moisture on the leaves anymore, and I opened up both these windows so they'll air dry. And these are the ones that were picked because they'd gone to seed, and these were the earlier ones, and you can see where they're turning brown. And these I just peeled just to get the dirt off, because we've been giving these to people that talk about the onions, and I said, well, here's a couple, try them.